Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. The first card we have out is the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles can be about holding on to something. Sometimes it can indicate something that we may be holding too tightly onto, but also sometimes it can be a clarifying moment where it's like, no, I don't want to let this go, or like, this is important to me, you know, like you don't want to compromise on something. So let's see what this is connecting with. Seeing the Three of Wands here. Seeing the Devil. Holding on to something now may create issues further down the line. Maybe if you don't reorient this, but let's see what this is connecting to. Yeah, I'm seeing a test. I'm seeing that there's an attachment to something, and you may be like really fighting the way, trying to hold on to this. The deal with the Four of Pentacles is that it's kind of like this. If something belonged, you know, like if something clicked, if something was meant to be in a particular place, it would be. And Four of Pentacles can be us trying to like gain control of a situation that's not meant to be, or something that's trying to grow or expand or like leave, you know, because sometimes things are out of alignment and it's still like, no, I'm gonna try to hold it here. So this can be, if you're feeling like resistance and you're fighting, because this can be like white knuckling something to get it to stay. It may create like frustration, or it could be this feeling of fear that's connected with something, almost like you know that something isn't meant to be or that it doesn't belong, but you're like, but only if I can control this, maybe I can make it stay, you know, something like this. But I'm seeing the attachment is actually, that's the challenge here, because it's something that's, this looks like a grudge that's being held on to. Something of the sort. See this? Like something that one doesn't want to let go of. It's like the broken heart here. Why? Well, I mean, the reason that you can look at this, if say you had no idea what was going on here and you're just hearing this, you would be like, why would somebody be holding on to pain? Like, why would somebody be holding on to something that like makes them feel broken or incomplete or hurt or whatever? But when we find ourselves in a situation like this, the reason that we hold on to that pain, like whatever this is that's happened, this experience that you're still holding on to, the reason that we do that is because we feel like the alternative is potentially worse. And that's why, you know, like we actually think this is the better option psychologically, and that's why we're doing that. So even though to the onlooker this may not make sense, it makes sense for us when we're moving through it, right? So you may feel like for some reason it keeps you safe to hold on to this, or but like it's doing something for you. You think that it's doing something for you. But through further inspection, you're going to see that it's actually just like you choosing to hold on to pain at the end of the day. I do again feel like this is a grudge or something, like something that's happened that you're not letting go of. But you know, that's like low-key just going to be poison for you. Some of you may be feeling physical symptoms of this as well. You know, this can be like where disease and stuff comes from, how the metaphysical turns physical. It's also because of like our attachment of wanting something to be a particular way too, you know? like an attachment to something, like I thought they were that type of person and they wouldn't do that, or in like my head they were supposed to be like this or like that, or like this person was never, you know, it's like this thing that we're holding on to, the attachment that we have. Because I feel like sometimes when we see the devil, we think it's like solely something material, but this can be something energetically that you're holding on to, you know, that is then going to manifest in a material way. So let's see further. It definitely seems like something that happened between you and another person. Because I'm seeing that there was like love, there was connection involved, and this happened, and I'm seeing there be like a resistance to accepting and allowing yourself to release this. Also, another important thing to keep in mind is that when we release a situation and when we accept it for what it is, or even like forgive somebody, that doesn't mean we need to allow them to come back into our lives. And I think sometimes that can be a confusing situation, because it's like, well, if we forgive somebody, doesn't that mean that we should let them back in? No, not necessarily. The forgiveness isn't like for the other person, it's for you, you know? And that also means that if you're holding on to the anger, that's for you too. Or you're holding on to the pain, that's for you too. So whatever you're deciding to do here for you, it's all for you with this. And there may be, even though, again, like when you're outside of this, it can sound like so backwards, but when you're in it, sometimes we're in a situation where it actually gives us like some sort of peace for us to perceive ourselves as being broken, because then we can like make excuses, you know, or like, you know, a broken person would do this and then we don't have to like hold ourselves accountable. We're like sometimes using it as an excuse to not do better, you know, things like that, where again we feel like holding on to this is better than the alternative because it's keeping us safe somehow, psychologically, keeping the ego safe. But it's not your higher self that's holding on to this, not at all. Felt like devalued or undervalued. You could also like take that on now and be perceiving yourself in that way, like you don't deserve better. This is like feeling like you're not worthy, something along those lines. Strong Capricorn energy here. Also too, Capricorn, which all of us have in our birth chart somewhere, with the energy of Capricorn, especially because I feel like it's one of the more commonly known archetypes, because like Capricorn is our MC, it's our 10th house, and it's like our public life and stuff like that. And with the archetype of Capricorn, it's like wanting to do things and be useful and be valued for the work that we're doing. So it's like praise is important to that archetype of Capricorn, recognition, you know? And you may have felt like you weren't recognized for your worth. And that would make a lot of sense, like archetypally what's showing up here. So you found yourself in a situation where something did not reflect that for you. And I guess it's meant to be a reinforcing factor where you're like, no, I'm worth more than that. You know, it's like meant to instill that within you, but it could have been something where you were like, it's like you took on the projected energy within this. The thing is as well that when we find ourselves in a situation like this where we perceive someone's not valuing us, it's really because they don't value themselves, but it becomes this thing that like trickles down, you know? somebody's not valuing themselves, they get in an interaction with another person, then the other person doesn't feel valued, then they take that on, and it just hops from the next person to the next person to the next person. And I'm seeing like this little train track of energy, like hopping to each different car. This could have been an interpersonal relationship, a work situation. Some of you felt like you were really putting in work and playing a particular role, not valued for that role that you were playing. To have the Devil above the King of Cups, this is about finding a way to kind of like demagnetize yourself to that thing. Because the Devil can be us really clinging to something and being like, I'm not going to let it go, I'm not going to let it go, and like trying to force something to stay, even when it's like you want to release that experience or like expel that in some way, and it can still be us holding on to something. And the King of Cups is about like demagnetizing yourself from that so it can fall away then. I'm seeing this as a challenge for you within your life that hits your like identity. What else would this be hitting for you? Your independence, identity, independence, your ability to be effective, things like that. I'm seeing that's like what this is hitting for you, where this would be bringing up challenge for you that you're currently facing. Areas in your life where you would need to like be effective and get something done, and like believing that you can actually do that and that you're like worth it too. This can come also down to like how much you're getting paid for things, how much you're being compensated, because that doesn't just have to be with money, it can be with other things. How you're being compensated for what you're doing and feeling like you're worth being compensated for showing up. Because I'm seeing you're at a point where you're like, I do want to have that reciprocity, but because of this thing that you're still holding on to, it's like making it a bit tricky still for that to be happening. This can be also your self-worth in the eyes of a crowd too, because King of Pentacles is generally like our more public life as far as the roles that we're playing and what we're identifying with. And it's time to give it up. It's time to give this up. The Death card is following. So this is about releasing this, not needing to, it's about integrating it into your experience so it's not sticking out anymore. Because it has been definitely like affecting, it's been affecting things for you in a way that it doesn't have to be. Death card, Six of Cups. I'm seeing this as something that cuts deep. Like this was either a really intense like one situation, or it was something repeatedly that happened that sort of like reinforced this like program within you essentially. Some of you, it was because of your connection, the type of connection you had with this person, and that's why it impacted you so much. Like everybody has their own reasons, but I'm definitely seeing something that was like quite an intense experience where it makes sense that it would have rubbed off on you. But now this is about giving yourself permission to release this, because you don't need to hold on to it anymore. so you can connect with what you actually want to connect with and not feel so shut down or like broken or like you're incapable of doing that. It's like making it hard for some of you, it's making it harder for you to tap into like your natural skills and abilities and your ability to like feel connected when you're doing something, pulling something off, accomplishing something. Because I'm seeing too, sometimes when like new things or new people enter into your life, it feels overwhelming because you're just consumed by like the past and sort of go back into that. But I'm seeing there's like an alternative way. And so like healing and release has to be done through this. And it just means being willing to integrate this experience. That's what like releasing and surrendering is about. It's not like throw it away and pretend it didn't happen. It's like recognizing that that did happen and like it did hurt, and like processing your feelings and like, no, maybe you wouldn't have preferred that happening, and like how do you think it was meant to help you? Like how can you grow from that? Is there like a benefit that you may have experienced by going through this? How is it meant to help you evolve and change and grow as a person? These sorts of things. What has it given you? There may be something coming up where it's like a situation that this can be applied to. What I'm getting is that all in all, if you decide to work on this, what's going to happen is that you're going to find yourself in situations that feel more reciprocated to you. And you may not be feeling that now. You may be feeling like undervalued, devalued. You may be finding a hard time valuing yourself and finding yourself in situations that keep reinforcing that. So that's what this is about, how this is going to help. But this attachment to the past, that is like, it's almost become this like weird drug at this point, having this Six of Cups and the Devil here. This is like something that you relive over and over again. You know, sometimes too we go through something that was like a horrible experience or something that like really was the opposite of a happy memory, but we still keep replaying it over and over again. I'm getting like a fixation on something here that keeps like, again, reinforcing this program, but needing to like demagnetize yourself to this, which means like I don't even know if this is a word, like depolarize yourself so it's not attached anymore. But I'm seeing you trying to get to that place emotionally is feeling like not light work by any means. I'm seeing it feel like really, really heavy, really, really heavy work. Although I'm not seeing anything that you're not capable of. This is just your like karmic challenge, so to speak, currently. And when I say karma, I just mean like cause and effect. Like you had that situation, this is how you were affected, and doing something else is going to be able to get you into a different space where this won't be attached to you anymore, because it'll be integrated, so it won't be like straggling along, affecting the things that you're doing and the situations you're finding yourself in. And it's also going to help you like connect more so with your purpose and like roles that feel more genuine to you, that feel more closely related to what you actually feel connected with genuinely and what you like doing. So yeah, for some of you, this even affects like your public life or like jobs that you take on and stuff like that. And there may be something that you want to do that you're actually interested in that you're currently blocked from because of this. Let's say it like this. Maybe there was like a particular role that you wanted to play in the past and you did, and you had some sort of experience where you didn't feel like that was validated, or you didn't feel that was recognized, or you weren't valued for playing this role, and then you were like, I guess I'm no good doing this. And there's something here that you may actually have a natural affinity for and feel connected to, and it would be an opportunity, a door that would open for you, but you may not be taking it on because you're like, maybe I'd just be no good at it anyway, you know, something like that. So by releasing that, you're going to make room to connect with something you'd rather connect with, rather than staying connected with this thing that feels unpleasant every time you feel the energy come through that cord. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.